on, MRT family? How's everybody doing? I hope that you're doing good. I know that people's lives are dramatically impacted by what goes on in politics, no matter whether you're on the left side or for the right side. So I know that for those people especially, some people are celebrating like they won the lotto. America is going to be made great again because these policies are going to change my life. And then another side that is just like, we're going to be living in another 4 years of hell, yada yada. And here I am, indifferent. I still remember the 2016 election, which ended up being Trump versus Hillary Clinton. And I remember how I felt voting in that election. And, I voted Democrat. And I remember feeling like these are my two candidates for real, because there was a lot of things that I really did not like about Hillary Clinton that made me not want to vote for her. And then there was a lot of things that I also did not like about, there was more things really that I didn't like about Donald Trump. And I think that the main things that I didn't like, I remember the first Republican debate. I don't remember this verbatim, obviously, because this was 8 years ago. But I recall him saying something to the effect when they got on that stage that all politicians are corrupt. He said, almost everybody on this stage I have paid to do some kind of political favor. And that was before he was in any kind of a position of office. And only one or two of them actually denied that. I think like Paul Ryan maybe and like one other person denied that Donald Trump paid them for some kind of a political favor. I believed him. And I remember talking to some people that were like avid Trump supporters about that specific thing. And they were like, oh, well, he's in there to expose them because most politicians are, liars and they're corrupt. And I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, well, if he was cooperating in the corruption from the outside, which means that he already knew how to get those favors, he was involved in politics essentially before he ever had a position in office. So if he already knew how to do that from the outside, I'm like, could you imagine what he's going to be able to do within the White House? He's kind of made America his personal playground where the rules don't matter, and he can use things to further his business, keep himself out of jail, those types of things. But when it comes to what I think about politics in general, I wasn't born here in this country of the United States. I was born in Canada. I came here, I was on a school visa for a number of years. After that, I was still here, and I had a choice to make, but I was young. My parents were, I abandoned house explorer. My parents were here from Ghana. My dad is from Ghana, and my mom is from Guyana. And me and my sister were born in Canada. Then we were Canadian citizens, obviously, my sister and I, because we were born there. They became naturalized Canadian citizens, and then we went over to the U.S. The first election that I was able to vote in, I think it was actually the 2016 election. Yeah. 2016, 2015. I became a citizen in 2015. I became a naturalized citizen of the United States. 2015. My first ballot had Hillary and Trump on it. And I remember how I felt that day, which was like extremely dejected. I was like, this feels like a gut punch, and it's a gut punch that's not going to go anywhere for the next 4 years. Hi, Cass. I felt like it's a gut punch that's not going to go anywhere for the next 4 years. And it felt that way for a while. I remember waking up and just being really depressed, honestly. And I don't usually even get that way about politics. Like, I wasn't going for Bush, but I didn't feel that way about Bush. I wasn't going that way for various, I guess Bush. I guess Bush was mattered a little bit less to me because I was not, even though I was here for part of that, I was also not a citizen and I was not a part of the votes, and I didn't really have those rights because I was just here on my school visa, like I said. But yeah, that one felt like a gut punch. But as time went on and as I started listening more to the things that they were talking about, and the more that I started looking into these policies that they were putting out, and then you hear them talk about these stats. Oh, I've had, under my regime, we've had the lowest unemployment rate in the last X amount of years. Um, there's this many. There's taxes on these imports. They just come up with all these different statistics that support that they were the best thing since sliced bread. But you tend to realize, like, the more you kind of look into things, there's just big hot ticket items that they like to put on their plate. Like in the case of Obama, it's like, okay, we captured Osama bin Laden. Like, there's certain big things that happen. Like if you look at the Biden regime, Biden is like, oh, we did all this work towards stopping a national crisis, which is COVID-19. Like, they'll find a couple of things, a couple of major things, and now I feel like they've dumbed down these elections. They've dumbed down the debates, right? So the one debate that we actually did have, it was just like the Roe v. Wade decision. That was Kamala Harris's huge talking point. And then she was talking to Trump and telling him also, you think that my policies are so bad, or like our policies, as in her and Joe, it's like, give me your policy. He was like, oh, well, I am not the president right now, but I have a concept of a policy. Oh, that's good enough for most people. Give me your concept of a policy, and we're going to roll with that. So I guess really, I'm not going to say I woke up feeling happy about the decision, because obviously that's not who I voted for, you know what I mean? But I knew that my specific vote wasn't really going to make a difference, because I live in New York. New York is always like a Democratic state, and the Democrats won the state. The point of me saying all of this is my life has not changed between yesterday and today, just like it didn't actually change in 2019, not 2019, I'm sorry, 2015 and 2016. Like, when Obama left office and when Trump came into office, my life was exactly the same. Now, I'm not going to be ignorant and say that life itself is exactly the same, because there are many things for many different people that really strongly impact them, like immigration laws, the wars going on, like, and the amount of resources dedicated towards the military, certain taxation laws. There's things that definitely affect a a decent portion of Americans. But the thing for me as a citizen is like, I actually feel like on a large scale, these politicians are on the same page about, a large number of things. They make so much money off of our fear and off of our our need to highly support these people, like sports teams. Sorry, my work phone is ringing, but it doesn't matter. I'm technically not working at this moment, so that's what the voicemail is for. Yeah, like people support these politicians like it's their favorite sports team. Ah, we won, now it's gonna be so great. And I keep asking everybody, just tell me what's gonna be so great about your life. And I'm not saying that nobody is gonna have an answer to that question, because I'm sure for some people there are actual specific reasons that they feel like, oh, this specific policy that this person promised to execute is going to impact my life. But I think for most people, it's just like, those Democrats, those Republicans. And truthfully, I would say for myself, it's just I don't stand with the person who is representing us, plain and simple. At this stage, there was a point when I was just like, I'm just hardcore for the party. And then I got to the point where I'm like, it's not really even about the party as much as it is who's going to do the best job for this country. And in this case, the person that we have that is standing in that spot is really, really divisive. There's places here in New York City and Long Island, more Long Island than New York City, where I literally don't even feel comfortable being in those areas. People make me feel uncomfortable and unsafe in those areas. Like, we don't have a guy that brings people together and fosters unity and community. Like, even amongst the people who are cheering for him, it's just not, it just doesn't leave me with a good feeling. So for me personally, all I can do, or all that I'm trying to do, is just to continue to live my life best that I can, to figure out things. I just have to adjust really around what's happening, because I heard on the radio, like, whether you like the decision or whether you don't like the decision, life keeps going on and life keeps moving on, and the best that you can do is just adjust around the policies, because ultimately, largely, we're not in control of what happens from the level of Washington, D.C. Like, people are like, oh, Trump is going to put more money in our pockets. How? When? He's going to give us what? Another stimulus check? He's going to, the most small businesses have started under my regime. Okay, how many people here started small businesses with Trump money? This is what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, the unemployment rate being going down to 3.5%. You know how many people in my local area are like, I can't get a job for anything? Like, I like to see evidence of the things that they're talking about. I remember one of the classes that I remember the most in school was my statistics class. And in my statistics class, they talked about skewed statistics. It's a simple concept. Basically, it's a concept of, if somebody is trying to prove some kind of a point with stats, They take the stats, they give no context to those stats, right? And then they just put them out there. And then you'll be listening to a debate. This is 3.5%. This is 7.8%. This is 10.5%. And that's why they started to get those fact checkers. Because when we're listening to something that is packed into like an hour and a half, you don't have time to actually go through those stats and see which one of them are accurate and which one is not. And in this debate that we had and we were listening to, oh goodness, don't even get me started. Why are we sitting here with so much going on in the country, talking about whether Kamala Harris is black or white, or what race that she is? Like, what does that have to do with anything? It's just distraction techniques, you know, like, oh, this guy sounded more entertaining, so he sounded more entertaining. This is something that I'm going to say about Trump too. Donald Trump is a very smart man, as dumb as he might sound to me. I mean, I know not everybody feels that way. To me, he sounds really dumb when he speaks, but he's really not dumb. He's found a way to really dumb down politics to where he makes it sound as simple as everybody is gonna fear us because I can push the button. I made all those other countries, Russia, like all these places, China, North Korea, like these places are scared of us because they're going to recognize America as the mighty power it is. Like, there's a few simple ways that he appeals to simple people. War, you know, like a lot of people just believe in, like, let's always be in a perpetual state of war because that's what keeps people from launching nuclear weapons on us, right? Because if they're scared of us, they're not going to do that, even though we gave them all that material to make those weapons, right? But yeah, they're going to be scared to use them because we have bigger guns. We got bigger guns, so that's the reason why they're going to fear us, right? We can push the button too, right? That's one thing. Two is, I want to keep the money in America's pockets. I'm going to tell you the truth. What money? I don't remember the money that I gained, unless you want to include that, the stimmy check? Was it $1,200? I don't know about y'all. I mean, I live in New York City. $1,200 is not even a rent payment. PPP loans. People got PPP loans, right? Here, you can have these PPP loans. I personally know somebody who took a PPP loan and didn't even have a small business because they were giving out those things without even really checking on if you meet the qualifications. And the reason why is because they knew they could get that money back. It's not actual money they're giving out. It's loan money that they're giving out. And they knew that the people were going to have to pay that money back, and then they were not going to have the money to pay back because they were going to use it on whatever they were going to use it on. And then it was going to be like, oh, you owe X amount of money and you have to pay it by this amount of time or you're going to go to jail. I haven't gotten an extra dime in my pocket because of Donald Trump or Biden. Honestly, they're getting more money from me continuously. Like they're playing golf with each other at the country club while I'm sitting here working my butt off, scraping pennies together. I'm being told by two rich men, or like, you know, rich people, because this time it's not two men, how much they're doing to pump money in my community. Where? Show me. I feel like show me proof of that. Don't just throw numbers at me. oh, this stat says this and this stat says that. I don't care about the stats. Show me the proof. Because all I'm seeing is the price is going up. My grocery prices are going up. The rent's going up. The only thing that goes down around election time, every 4 years, the gas prices go down temporarily. Then they go right back up. Everything else is going up. I don't care about, oh, okay, we had the lowest unemployment rate in X amount of years. Why are these salaries going up like 2% a year, if anything? 2%. What is an extra $20 on somebody's paycheck gonna do for them? Oh, I can buy a few extra packs of bubble gum with the way my money is going up. Why are there jobs that people had to take out FAFSA loans for $100,000 plus, and there's jobs that require those degrees that they have, that they earned, both through blood, sweat, and tears, years, and loan money that they might never pay back till the day they die, because they said so many people literally die with these student loans, right? And then they go to a job that is like, oh, this job pays, it requires that degree, but pays $2 above minimum wage. Because they don't, in the school system, they don't teach you about becoming a business owner. They teach you about being a slave to somebody else's business. I remember a business I worked for where I just assumed that this guy was, who was the CEO of the company, had at least some kind of master's degree or something. I found out he had the same degree as me, Bachelor's of Business Administration. We should be pumping money into changing the things that we're learning in school, right? I heard a quote one time that says, your boss will never pay you enough to be your neighbor. Here, take this $1,000. To somebody with real money, what was $1,200 going to do for them anyways? Ooh, $1,200. Okay, I didn't see any of these. Let's see. Yeah, I saw that. Hi, Palaver. Is the money in the, I know, right? Like, okay, if I wish that he was out at one of these speeches that he makes with one of those money guns, just like shooting the money all over the place so I could pick it up off the ground, and then I would be like, thank you, Donald Trump. I earned X amount of money from you because you gave it to me directly. I took it and I pocketed it, and I took it to the bank. They verified that this money is legit. Now I can say I've gotten the most money that I have ever gotten. Man, I go to work. I go in, I put in my job applications when I have to. I interview, I earn my spot. I get in arguments with management every day. I work with clients. I do regular work, you know. I slave away. I kind of live paycheck to paycheck. Nothing has changed for me. Nothing has become better for me. And nothing is going to become better for me because of the election choice. There's not even a party for me, for real. We should have more than those two parties, honestly. Because at the time, if you look into your history and the times when these parties were actually put together and the things that were legal at that time, and we haven't obliterated those two parties and we're still running with those same things, they can't blatantly do the things that they used to do. So now they hide them in different ways. And now they have people who are fans of these parties that don't know their history. They don't do their research. I don't know. I guess I can't say that I'm indifferent. I'm not exactly indifferent, but I'm not like as heartbroken as I was in 2016. I'm really not. Give me 1 second. I'm going on mute. I do have to call this person back. $33, $10. And then I had to go to these clients' houses, and some of them are like avid Trump supporters and telling me how they won. I'm like, let's just change the topic. The fact that people have to pick between evils and pick the lesser, that's how it's been. I feel like that's how it's been for a while. Because even in 2020, when we had Joe Biden versus Trump, if y'all remember that first debate, it was terrible. When Trump was like, your son is a drug addict, Joe. Sleepy Joe. And Joe was like, would you shut up, man? I mean, it was funny. It was kind of funny. And it was kind of funny when they had that first debate of this one between Biden and Trump, where he said something like he was stumbling along, which I think Joe Biden is like mentally unfit. I don't mean, when I say mentally unfit, I don't mean in a sense of like, you know what I mean? When I say mentally unfit, I mean due to his age. I feel like there's something going on with him. Like, I was looking at him and feeling like the guy has potentially had some mini strokes. I was literally thinking that as somebody who has seen somebody who has had mini strokes. I was like, is this guy okay? But it was funny when Trump was in that particular debate and he was like, I don't know what he just said, and I don't think that he knows what he just said either. Like, that's funny, but what's happening with the policies, my guy? That's the one thing that we don't talk about. What about how he wants all these immigrants to go back in their country? And who built Trump Towers? You know what I mean? How many illegal immigrants contributed to his fortune by completing dirt cheap labor under the table, off the books? It's like, it sounds cute. It sounds good. I did my lesser of two evils pick as well. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm some huge Kamala Harris fan either. Just like I wasn't huge on Joe Biden in 2020. I was just like, you know what? At least I don't have to feel embarrassed when he speaks. 310. Oh, I actually am quite close to this client, but I have a 20-minute wait. I had an interesting discussion at work that's unrelated to this, but that's not what this is about. This is gonna be probably my only real political post. And hey, if some people say, "Oh, I'm gonna unfollow you, unsubscribe because of that," that's cool. I don't care. That's not really a concern of mine. I have people who are in my family or friend group who support the presently elected, the president elect, I guess, right? And that's fine, but there's people who support them as like, I hope that this person does right by my country, and there's other people who support them like fanatics. I'm not, even if Harris had won, you're not gonna see my car or my house with flags all over the place. You're not gonna see like big Trump posters with an X over his face, right? Like I'm not fans of these people. I'm not their fans. Like I just want them to do the right things for the country. I don't care. I'm not cheering for them like they're my favorite sports team. Like what the heck? I know like what, these grown people. Oh, I know this spot. Ooh, I came over here before. Wow, I've been over here before. That's interesting. That's funny. I remember I met a friend over here. His wife overstayed her visa until she married him. Melania Trump is, oh god. I'm trying not to say too much, but what an embarrassment as a first lady. I'm sorry. That's the nicest thing I could possibly say. It's like she's just there because he has to have a wife. You, there's no president. I mean, you basically you have to have a first lady, right? He just has to have someone there, and she's the best person there because she'll be by his side. She's not going anywhere. What else is she gonna do? My wife, by the way, she's a beautiful wife. She's a beautiful wife. Okay? And she has a best-selling book. Let's be honest, man. How many pages of that book? I've heard her speak enough. How many pages did she write in that book? She has a hard time completing a sentence. Please. My beautiful wife. I do have a Canadian citizenship. It might be time to dust it off. Matter of fact, I'm going to be in Canada very soon for my grandma's birthday. So don't be surprised if I'm like, you know what, guys? I can technically still live here. I don't have to apply. I could just move back over here. I'm a dual citizen. I might just decide, you know what? I'm not going to come back. This country is a mess. Even though my Canadian friends tell me that it's a mess for them over there, but I don't think they realize there's levels to this. And the level that we've been on from 2016 till now, the voting system is like American Idol. Like we're voting for American Idol. It's a popularity contest. People like being on the right side of the bully. Oh yeah, you don't agree? Well, I'm gonna make you agree. Because I have the most powerful position and in the world. The pressure that I have to handle to do this position, like as everybody did. Yeah, he really showed me that with the right amount of money and privilege, anything is possible. In other words, it's never possible for me. It will never be possible for me because I'm never gonna have. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna have money, but I'm never gonna have. I'm never gonna have privilege. I'm never gonna be able to buy my way out of committing fraud. If I do the crime, I pay the time. There's no getting out of it for me. I can't be absolved of how many felonies is that? 30 something. Having a shrine of these folks in your houses, and people do. Like, there's certain houses that I pass by, and there's just like huge flags that they put in their lawn, and then they have big pictures in their windows, and I'm like, unless this person paid for my house, if this politician was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy you a house. Here you go. Oh, I'll put a big mural of you right in the center of that house because you got that house from me. You did that. You did that, sir or ma'am. But if I've never spoken to you a day in my life, and I'm just going off of the things that you are arguing with other rich politicians that you allegedly did that benefit me, you're not even getting a mini flag with your face on it. I'm just gonna live my life as I have been living it already, and nothing is gonna change. You're not changing my life. Very nice. Not American Idol. That's what it's like. It really is like that. Whoever sounds the best. To become a citizen, I had to study this book. There was 1,000 questions in the book or something. I had to brush up on American history. I had to learn about bodies of water. I had to learn about the order of presidents. I had to learn about different acts that were I'm not gonna lie, it was an easy test. When I actually did the citizenship test, it was not a difficult test to do. But the thing is, my point in even mentioning that, there's no test required about voter knowledge before they vote. Anyone can vote. You don't have to know anything about politics. So imagine how many millions of people who vote are doing their vote solely based on what they watch in those debates, and maybe the things that keep getting repeated by the person who's trying to win in their rallies. They don't leaf through the pages, they just listen to the highlights. And there's very little about policies in there. Like I said, they just pick on certain big ticket items. Like in Trump's case, his big ticket item was like making sure that like other countries, basically keeping our money in the country and getting rid of illegal immigrants. What was the other one? Getting rid of illegal immigrants. There's like a few major things, but they just keep talking about those same couple of things over and over. Did the light turn red on me? It did. I lost my train of thought. But actually, every single one of Trump's debates is more of like, I remember all of his 2016 debates was like, Obama didn't do this, Obama didn't do that, Obama didn't do, like, there's so many, you can always, as the candidate running against the active president, you can always find a million things that they didn't do. For me, I'm always like, tell me what you're gonna do. That's what I want to hear, and don't just give me like a big generic overview of what you're gonna do. Give me some details. I know you're not gonna be able to give me a whole policy in a short allotted amount of time, but give me something. Give me some way that you're gonna accomplish this. I remember when he was talking about Joe's failed promise to get rid of student loans. So people were just like, cool. So the best way to go about this is don't promise that you're going to get rid of them and just have people just die with them like what was happening before. Wonderful. I fortunately don't have a student loan because I paid for mine. I prioritized paying for mine. But then again, when I think about it, I almost wish that I had prioritized myself instead of those loans. But when I got out of school, I don't know, I was just dead set on not having student loans. So my first few years out of school, I lived very frugally and I did a lot of overtime. And I didn't have like a full student loan like everyone else anyways, because I had some government grants. Parking in New York is okay. I think my car is too close to the meter, so maybe this is Biden karma. You know what's funny? I remember the last election. What's his name? Bernie Sanders. I felt like Bernie Sanders was making a lot of excellent points, but they're like, number one, I think he's too radical, and number two, I think he's too old. But look who we got now. I mean, he's not as old as Bernie Sanders, but he's gonna be in his 80s before his term is out. Make presidents young again. How about that? Give us some candidates that are like, how come people in jobs that are much less pressure and much less stressful than this particular one get pushed out of their jobs 65 earlier than that? Actually, my mom worked as an RN for a number of years and retired a few years ago. They were trying to push her out probably from late 50s. They couldn't specifically just be like, get out of here, but they wanted her out from then with the things that she was going through at work. You have no age limit on being the president of the United States. None. That goes crazy to me. Somebody told me as long as you're competent, you're mentally competent. Even if you're mentally competent, we all have an expiration date. So I'd rather somebody closer to the maybe closer to the middle than to the end. No offense. Like, even let's say somebody was like a brilliant brain surgeon in their heyday, and then they're at 85, they're like, I want to become the president of the United States. If you want to call it ageism to say that at 85 they shouldn't be allowed to run, I'm fine with that. I mean, there's so many other things that are that are allowed. Sexism, racism, misogyny, like there's so many things that go on that are actively allowed, even allowed by the president. That should be the least of them. I don't want to have to worry about whether my president is going to live through the term. Oh yeah, everything. They came up with everything this time around. Got, they got the House, they got the Supreme Court. So I guess we're gonna see what the Republicans are gonna do, because they are totally in control here. They're totally in control of our outcomes when it comes to major policies, anyways. Because everyone who really deeply follows politics knows that what happens in your state really mostly depends on the local policies. I'm tired. Ugh. I got up early this morning. I went to the gym. I've been going to the gym every morning this week. I've been trying to get back into this morning schedule. It's not easy. I wake up, my alarm wakes me up. I was half asleep for 75% of my workout. I kind of woke up towards the end, but my life is going to continue as it has, and that's about it. That's all I have to say. I don't think that I'm going to make another political post. Today is challenge day. I can't wait to talk about the challenge episode. I hope it's a good one. We're on Banana's revenge tour so far. I'm almost finished with the mole. I have 2.5 episodes left because I fell asleep during episode 8. And I think there's 10 episodes for the season. It's been an excellent season. I like I said, I think I'm going to do a recap of that once I've seen all 10 episodes. I don't know if I'm going to end up watching season 7 of The Circle. I've heard it's good, and before it would have been a no-brainer that I was going to watch it, even though I didn't like season 6, but for personal reasons, I just haven't been able to bring myself to watch The Circle anymore. What else is out there? I started The Anonymous. It was okay, and House of Villains. I like House of Villains. It has picked up in the last couple episodes. It's not like a weekly staple for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. When I say it's not a weekly staple, I mean it's not something that I'm like, oh, I gotta get home and watch House of Villains. It's kind of like 2-3 episodes pile up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's still on. So let me turn it on and see. Binge watch a few episodes and see what's happening. So that's where we're at. I mean, that's my thoughts. You can agree, disagree, unfollow. I don't care. Y'all know that on my page, I don't really talk about politics. I don't really talk about religion, sexuality, gender. I keep those topics off my page because, I mean, people talk about those things all day in life. And my page is not really for those debates, even though that's one of the easiest ways to generate views on a channel, is to talk about divisive topics. and to give strong stances on them. What do you think CNN is for? Like Fox News, like these some of these people. Honestly, some of these people that y'all follow. When I say y'all, I don't mean everybody, but y'all who this applies to. Some of these people that y'all follow really hardcore on these news networks don't even really believe in the things that they are arguing and fighting so passionately about. But they know that it puts money in their bank account. And when these opinions go viral and those videos make their rounds. Because at the end of the day, for I want to say 70% of Americans or more, politics is entertainment. I haven't gone live for a challenge episode since probably episode 1 or 2 at this point. I don't know if I'm going to go live right after the episode. I might, but I don't want to guarantee that and not do it, so I don't know. But I am going to watch the episode live. Same about House of Villains. Thanks for calming my nerves today about the politics. No problem. These folks just want the rage bait and the cult following. Exactly. That's why I can't get in these online debates. You're just mad because we won and y'all lost. I have asked so many people, what did you win? I have yet to get a response. I mean, I've gotten responses, but when I say, what did you win? I'm like, give me some concrete things that you feel like you're gaining that you didn't have before. Like, let me know, seriously. If you have answers, put them in the comment section. I'll read them, and then I'll look up what you're talking about to see. I mean, I guess I can't necessarily look it up because technically you could still say he hasn't taken office yet. But, I mean, even if you want to tell me something that you gained from 2020 to 2024, that you lost from, not 2020 to 2024, I'm sorry, 2016 to 2020, that you feel like you lost in 2020 to 2024, that you feel like you're getting back, let me know. All right, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. I got more work to do. Thanks for helping me with my hour break, because I feel like my boundary setting has gotten better when I'm on these lives, because I look at the time of the amount of time that I've been doing the live, and I'm like, I get an hour break, so I should have an hour that I don't have to answer anyone's calls, even though they don't feel like that should be the case. All right, y'all, have a great one.